Four in your corner, staying on top of breaking news out of Sanibel right now. Sanibel police say one of their officers was shot and hurt during a routine traffic stop. We're told the officer has been transported to Lee Memorial Hospital and a suspect is in custody. Now, Four in your corner's Sam Sosa is live on scene right now. Sam, what's the latest out there?
They say that is when they finally got the suspect in custody.
Lisa, we actually just spoke with the chief of police out here in Sanibel, and he gave us some information about what exactly went down in this chaotic scene right behind me. Let me step out of the way so you can see there are several cop cars out here with their lights on, and that street right there, Bailey, is completely closed off as they continue to investigate. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what happened. An officer was making a routine traffic stop down Periwinkle when a drive-by shooter actually shot at him while he was making that traffic stop. That shooter then fled down this street, Bailey, into the Dunes neighborhood, where officers caught up with him, and then there was an exchange of gunfire. And we hear that the suspect was hit during that exchange. That suspect then got back into his car and drove to his home. This is a Sanibel resident. He drove back to his home where he finally gave up, and Sanibel and Lee County Sheriff's deputies were able to detain him. That is the latest information we have right now. There are 3 different scenes involved in this whole incident, and police continue investigating, so we will update you with the latest information as we get it. For now, I'm live in Sanibel. Sam Sosa, Fox 4, in your corner. Lisa, back to you.
Now, Sam, we do have a couple questions. This all started on the Sanibel Causeway?
It did not start on the Sanibel Causeway, actually, Lisa. The officer was making a routine traffic stop down Periwinkle, and that's where a drive-by shooter, not the person that the officer was stopping, but a drive-by shooter shot at the officer.
Okay, thank you so much for clearing that up. And we were told that you mentioned there are 3 separate scenes. There were 2 different instances of shots fired here in this situation?
We can't go into the original scene.
Yeah, Lisa, that's right. So the initial shot fired was down Periwinkle when that officer was making that routine traffic stop, and then the suspect fled into the neighborhood behind me, and that's when other cops caught up with him, and there was an exchange of gunfire. None of the officers were hurt. That's what we're hearing as of now, but I think that the suspect was hit. That's according to the chief. The suspect was hit at that time.
Alrighty, and my last question, how is the traffic looking out there now? Have things kind of cleared up a little bit?
Well, Periwinkle is actually still partially blocked off. They are slowly letting cars through. The causeway, however, is reopened. But if you're in the Dunes area, that neighborhood is completely shut off. We're going to see what they do with residents here and how they're going to direct them coming up. But right now, that neighborhood is completely blocked off as police continue investigating this scene with multiple scenes involved.
Alrighty, thank you so much for that, Sam, and we'll check back with you in a few minutes. Now, Four in your corner is also speaking to Jennifer Wake at the Lazy Flamingo on Sanibel. She's explained to us what she's been seeing out on the island.
Tell me when you first realized that something had happened and what you heard or saw or what people were telling you.
I just heard that, well, we saw a bunch of cop cars going back and forth down the road, and then they ended up turning around in our driveway at one point and heading back towards the causeway. I had people on the patio said they thought they heard gunshots off that way, or off behind us, but, you know, we just saw a lot of police presence. We really didn't have any upfront action. They had the road blocked off at like 4 different points in the road right here next to Dairy Queen, down at the Dunes, down at Lindgren, and the causeway. They weren't letting anybody off or anybody through. I know the Dunes were locked down. I heard through the grapevine somebody thought it was at our restaurant that somebody got shot. I told them no, that wasn't the case, but I did hear later that a cop from Sanibel, I've heard 2 different one person say a male, one person say a female cop got shot on the causeway, and that the person was held up in the Dunes, and the Dunes was on lockdown.
So that must be pretty scary for you to have all this happen on an island that never sees something like this.
Oh, yeah, it was very crazy, and we had a packed restaurant, and it's like, what do you do? Never once did a cop come and lock us down personally. Like, we were not told that we need to stay indoors at any time, so we just had ramblings of people, can we get off the island? Can we go home? Like, are they blocking this direction off? And now I guess they're letting people through. I've heard that they've caught the person. So it's very real. I've been here since 8 a.m., so I'm hanging out with my crew, making sure they're good. So before I leave tonight.
Wow, what a night. Okay, anything else?
Very exciting.
Anything else we need to know?
No. All I know is Sanibel PD did their best to keep everybody safe. As far as they obviously didn't see a threat to our building, or else they would have had us locked down. But from what I hear, they've done a good job, and from my personal seeing it firsthand down on Periwinkle, they handled themselves very well in the situation. And I'm just glad to hear that hopefully it wasn't a fatality shot, a fatal shot.
Again, this is a live look at the scene on Sanibel. Four in Your Corner will be staying on top of this developing story throughout our newscast, and check back in with Sam in just a little bit.